So let me start injecting the human into this discussion a little bit. So let's talk about full autonomy. If you look at the current level 4 vehicles being tested on road, like Waymo and so on, they're only technically autonomous. They're really level 2 systems with just a different design philosophy, because there's always a safety driver in almost all cases, and they're monitoring the system.
Right.
Do you see Tesla's full self-driving as still, for a time to come, requiring supervision of the human being? So its capabilities are powerful enough to drive, but nevertheless requires a human to still be supervising, just like a safety driver is in other fully autonomous vehicles.
I think it'll require detecting hands on wheel for at least 6 months or something like that from here. Really, it's a question of, like, from a regulatory standpoint, how much safer than a person does Autopilot need to be for it to be okay to not monitor the car? And this is a debate that one can have, and then but you need a large sample, a large amount of data, so that you can prove with high confidence, statistically speaking, that the car is dramatically safer than a person, and that adding in the person monitoring does not materially affect the safety. So it might need to be like 200 or 300% safer than a person.
And how do you prove that?
Incidents per mile.
Incidents per mile.
Yeah.
So crashes and fatalities. So,
yeah, I mean, fatalities would be a factor, but there are just not enough fatalities to be statistically significant at scale. But there are enough crashes. There are far more crashes than there are fatalities. So you can assess what is the probability of a crash. Then there's another step, which is probability of injury, then probability of permanent injury, then probability of death. And all of those need to be much better than a person by at least perhaps 200%.
And you think there's the ability to have a healthy discourse with the regulatory bodies on this topic?
I mean, there's no question that regulators pay disproportionate amount of attention to that which generates press. This is just an objective fact. And Tesla generates a lot of press. So in the United States, there's, I think, almost 40,000 automotive deaths per year. But if there are 4 in Tesla, they'll probably receive 1,000 times more press than anyone else.